Hello. I want to talk about visitation in the prison system. In order to help one to come to grips with the abnormal society, you have to have normalcy or normal activities going on, such as creating a bond between the families despite you being away from them. It's called strengthening family ties. Strengthening family ties came about by God instilling inside of me a children area to be placed inside the visiting area where a child could get away from their parents, let the parents have quality time to themselves in bonding, based upon the fact that children need to be bonding with other children. Children need to be doing things with other children or in close confinement, contain themselves to be in a certain area modestly without making a lot of noise, creating scenes, or having fun, like playing with crayon, coloring books, various toys that would be their own toy that would be given to them individually. They could take it home with them, or they could leave it there, come back and play with it again. Other things similar to that particular effect. So there was various ways and means that God allowed me to do these things. One of the things he allowed me to do was contact with a professor, a college professor by the name of Dr. Christian Hansen, a world-renowned child psychologist. He afforded us the opportunity to become child care workers. You have to have no type of child-related or inhumane-related charges. It also gave you the opportunity to become certified child care worker certified. It also gave you the ability to work around children without the children being exposed to other elements that wasn't desirable to be around children. You have to know that no matter what happens, you have to take in consideration that children are to be treated as children, not as any type of object of fulfilling something that is not designed for children. So we have to teach them basic fundamental things such as getting along with one another. The prison allowed me to do it, along with me choosing certain other people to do the tutoring, the responsibility of child caring inside the penitentiary. It also gave them the ability to work with other children. There were certain children that were smarter than other children. We allowed them to teach other children how to be about helping themselves and helping others. You'll be surprised how many children didn't like each other. At the conclusion of the day, when other children interacted with them, they was real happy. We was also happy based upon the fact that the program succeeded on the first try that we did in trying to bring the group of children together as a whole without creating chaos or dissension or hate or any type of other stuff that would be going on. And it worked pretty good, so much so that other institutions had us move to their institutions so that these type of facilities could be implemented into their prison of incarceration people. This also informed us that no matter what happens, that each element here is surrounded about helping people to help themselves. When family members couldn't afford to pay the rent, we assisted them in that. When family members couldn't afford to buy food, we assist them in getting food. When they couldn't afford clothes, we assist them getting clothes. Also, we reached out further for those who couldn't have transportation, have transportation coming to them to bring them to the prison. It worked so well until other people copycatted what we were doing. All of this started in Trenton State It went all the way to Rahway, then Rahway to Southwood, Southwood to Southern State, to Jones Farm, to Northern State, to all the basic institutions, including the young children institutions throughout the state of New Jersey. It became such a successful program till we still had to handpick and have guys to go through the modality of being a child care worker. You had to be certified in order to work in the children area. You have to have a certain type of crimes that will restrict you from working in the children area. We selected those who were considered honorable prisoners, those who had different types of ways of conforming to society, no matter where they be at. So with this being the case, you know, we did have a very good turnout. It was very successful. Everybody was happy all the way across the board, including the disgruntled ones who didn't want that to take place inside the institution. It just so happened that God was in charge of and allowed them to let us do what needed to have been done to bridge the gap between the incarcerated prisoners as well as the incarcerated people outside. As a matter of fact, when you go to prison, you bring your whole family into lockup. You bring your whole family into the system. This is not a very good thing to do. It's not something that goes away. It creates other things that I will talk about later on in various videos that comes about from being separated from your family, from being separated from the norms and dorms of society. So in all things said to be done, we love the idea of a child teaching another child. We love the idea of exposing other children to it. The children love the idea themselves. They was running up the walkway or into the gates just to get into the children area so they can do what adults do, or allow them to be an adult for those few hours. The other children were glad to see other children playing with them in a very positive educational way. It relieved them of the stress, the anxiety, the noise making, and everything. It was running smooth. I mean, you didn't hear a baby cry unless it wanted a bottle. You didn't hear them cry unless they saw one of us and went, "Oh, I want to go play with Goldie. Is all right, Daddy? Is all right, Mommy?" And they would come over with permission from their parents. Sometimes the parents would come in the area themselves to watch, make sure that nothing took place outside the norms and dorms of society, that nothing would harm the child or the children in any shape, form, or fashion. You know, it was so wonderful, you know, that the administration applauded us for it. It never hit the news media. It never hit various organizations until God allowed me to touch base with them in order to get some outside help in helping various families in times of need. The need stretches from A to Z, Z to A, in the alphabet in between. So it was a very beautiful, successful thing. As I speak now, I notice that a lot of people around the world have adapted the process of family ties being strengthened. One of the countries that stood out so prevalent about it was Sweden, or shall I say Amsterdam. They allowed the prisoners to live with their family on the prison grounds in a trailer, in a house. They go to work, come back, locked up with the family locked up with them. So, you know, it's various ways or means to have a person incarcerated with their family without separating them, without bridging a gap, or not having them to overcome a natural way of survival. You know, and it's so sad that a lot of people were displaced, or shall I say, had been abandoned by not having family ties, by coming to prison. Some of them couldn't read, they couldn't write, so they couldn't, they had no access to no phone or know how to use a phone in order to call their family members. Most of their family members didn't even have phones back in those days. As time went on, we saw that there was a need to strengthen it all the way across the board from one element to another. As the world progressed, we progressed also by uplifting the growth and development of the children area. It's a very powerful thing. So powerful until that it's impossible for us not to know that these things took place. Thank you very much for listening. Tap it, accept it, then subscribe to this channel so that you can learn more about some of the do's and don'ts, wills and won'ts of the prison system. This way you'll know that all prisoners not as bad as people label them as, or as society has labeled them as. They still can do positive things. It's their choice. You have a choice in the matter. Either be with it or you're against it. When you're against it, try to lean forward to be with it so you can get the rare jewels of the now that's been said about the penal system. It helps you, it helps us to grow as a human being from being negative to being positive. You can uplift the morale of the prison population as well as the human population when you acquire yourself to do positive things. Thank you. Stay tuned. And don't forget, hit that button that you like it, then subscribe. Have a blessed evening. May your day tomorrow be better than this one. Thank you.